Haley from OneOnRabbits.com, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over some poisonous foods for bunnies and foods that you should just never feed them. Just a side note, this is not an exclusive list on everything that's poisonous to bunnies or everything that you shouldn't feed. These are just 20 common items that I felt like a lot of people might not know about, or things that I've heard people feed bunnies in the past that are not safe to give. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first one is corn or corn husks. So anything corn related should never be given to bunnies. Corn is not able to be processed down by a rabbit's digestive system. A lot of different rabbit food mixes and stuff will have corn in it, either as an ingredient or as a dried chunk. All of this is really bad. Rabbits can't digest it properly. Sometimes they can't pass it completely, which obviously is a big danger. Corn husks, on the other hand, are dangerous just because obviously they're part of a corn plant, so rabbits shouldn't be eating it. But two, they are very stringy. If you've ever seen a corn husk, they have a lot of spines and strings in them, which is hard for a rabbit to chew up properly, and it could cause the rabbit to choke. Because of that, you want to be really careful on what different types of toys your rabbits are using, because a lot of toys actually have corn husks in them, and they'll be labeled that they're safe for bunnies, even though they're not. So be very careful on what different toys you're giving your bunnies and make sure there's no corn husks in the ingredients. The second one is legumes. So any type of legumes are not safe for bunnies. So peanuts obviously are legume, but more like beans, peas. I don't know my legumes very well, but any type of legume is not safe for bunnies. There is a debate on whether peas are safe or unsafe for bunnies. Some people say certain types of peas are completely safe. Other people say that same type of pea isn't safe. Because of that, I personally just don't give peas to bunnies. For one, they're not a leafy vegetable, which means they're not important in a rabbit's diet. And two, because it hasn't been researched enough and because there's so much debate over it, just avoid it altogether. The third one is chocolate. This is a well-known dangerous food for a lot of pets, I feel. It's not good for cats, dogs, and rabbits. It can be toxic, especially dark chocolate. It should never be given to bunnies under any circumstance, so it's kind of an easy one, but just in case you didn't know, rabbits should not have chocolate. The fourth one is any type of dairy. So a lot of small pet treats will have yogurt in them, so yogurt drops or yogurt covered something. Anything dairy is not safe for bunnies. It's not something they should ever have. I've heard people say give yogurt as a probiotic to bunnies. No, don't do that. They can't have milk, they can't have dairy, they can't have yogurt, they can't have cheese, they can't have any of those things. So no dairy whatsoever. So the fifth one is grains. Rabbits should not be eating grains like wheat, rice, quinoa. I don't even know my grains either. I probably should have studied them before I made this video, but don't give grains to rabbits. Those are not what rabbits eat. Rabbits eat fresh leafy greens and dried grass. That's the majority of their diet. One exception to this, I guess, would be a lot of rabbits can eat oat grass, which is a type of grass hay, and Oxbow sells it. A lot of hay companies sell oat hay for bunnies. That is safe, but mainly what I'm getting at is wheat. Don't give your rabbits bread, cereals, pasta, tortilla chips. Don't give them these things. The sixth one is avocado. So avocado has been quite trendy as of the recent years. Guacamole, avocado toast, things like that. So that might be something that you do have in your home. However, you might be aware that avocado is poisonous to cats and dogs, and it is the same for bunnies as well. It has something in it that can be very toxic and poisonous, so don't let your rabbit ever eat avocado. Any part of it, don't let them have it. The seventh one is nuts. So I kind of went over peanuts because peanuts are legumes, but any other types of nuts are not safe either. Of course, I don't even know my nuts. Almonds, walnut, I don't know, any type of nut. Just don't give your rabbits nuts, any type. They're all not safe. The eighth one is potatoes. Potatoes should not be given to rabbits. They are very, very starchy, and they're not part of the leafy green vegetables that you should be giving your bunny. This goes along with, you shouldn't give your rabbit potato chips. For some reason, I've heard it a lot that people say they give their rabbits potato chips. I don't know why. There's a ton of salt on them anyways. There's oil. There's so many things in potato chips you should not be giving your bunnies. But potatoes themselves are not something you should be giving. Sweet potatoes, normal potatoes, any type of potatoes. The 9th thing is meat. Now this might be kind of obvious, but I have heard of people giving their rabbit pizza. So I kind of feel like this needs to be said, but rabbits cannot eat meat. Rabbits are herbivores, which means they consume plants. So don't give your rabbit meat of any kind, and I don't think much else has to be said. The 10th one is eggs. I feel like this is kind of common sense as well. Eggs are a byproduct of chickens. Rabbits do not eat animal products, so don't give your rabbit eggs or anything that contains eggs, like any baked goods, which again, baked goods have grains and sugars and all that stuff in there. Don't give that. So yeah, just don't give your rabbit eggs. The 11th thing is iceberg lettuce. So this thing that isn't necessarily toxic to your bunnies, but it is something that isn't the best for them to be eating. So iceberg lettuce is where a lot of people get confused and think that rabbits can't eat lettuce at all. That is untrue. Rabbits eat lettuce for the majority of their diet, like different green leaf, red leaf, romaine, different types of lettuces are very important in a rabbit's diet. However, iceberg lettuce is one lettuce you should never give. The reason for that is iceberg lettuce is mainly water. There's like no nutritional value in iceberg lettuce. Another huge thing is it does absorb a lot of pesticides, herbicides, things like that. So especially if it's not organic, because it absorbs so much water content, it's gonna have a lot more higher value of those pesticides, herbicides, things like that in it. So a lot of people say that iceberg lettuce, if given to bunnies, can cause runny poop because of the high water content. Now, I'm not gonna say if your rabbit accidentally eats a piece, it's gonna get sick, but it's not something that should be a part of their diet, and there is much healthier alternatives out there, so iceberg lettuce should never be given. The 12th thing is apple seeds. I would hope most people know this, considering they technically are poisonous to humans as well in large amounts, but apple seeds have toxins in them. They can be toxic or poisonous in large amounts for humans, but for bunnies, obviously, you know, that amount would be a lot less. So don't ever give your rabbits apple seeds. Rabbits can have apples themselves, like the actual apples. They can also have apple sticks as long as there's no pesticides, things like that, but just don't give the seeds. The 13th one is onions, garlic, shallots, chives, things like that. A lot of these things are also unsafe for cats and dogs, but yes, they are unsafe for rabbits as well. Anything like that to bunnies, those are not safe. So the 14th one is yard grass. So as you guys know, grass is a part of a rabbit's diet. I mean, hay is literally dried grass. But you don't want to feed fresh grass from your yard. Now, rabbits can have fresh grass if it's grown in a safe way, but the reason you shouldn't give it from your yard is that even though you might not use pesticides, herbicides, things like that, your neighbor or someone down the road might be using it. So especially if you live in a town or a city or anything like that, you don't want your rabbit eating out of your lawn because you just don't know what's been going through there. Especially if you don't have a fence and there's a lot of wild animals walking through there that can spread a lot of diseases. The only time it would be safe is if you live in the country, away from everyone, you have acres and acres of property, and you know, you're not close to anyone who's like spraying their yard with stuff, and you're not in like a community like that. It would be safe in that instance probably to give grass from your yard as long as you wash it very well, things like that. But if you live anywhere in town or in a neighborhood, do not give yard grass. Number 15 is banana peels. So This is a common thing that people like to give bunnies, and as far as I can tell, you shouldn't ever give banana peels to bunnies because a lot of the times bananas bought in a store are very, very, very highly sprayed with chemicals and pesticides and things like that. A lot of thick-skinned fruits are, like bananas, oranges, things like that. That's why they say humans as well shouldn't eat those because they're just so highly full of chemicals. I personally just avoid it. Like, why give the banana peel? Just give the banana itself. But yeah, don't give banana peels if they're not organic, and personally, even if they are organic, I don't really see the point. So that's my opinion. So number 16 is acorns. Obviously, if you look outside, you see a lot of like squirrels and things collecting acorns to like take back to their nest and eat and stuff. First of all, you have to realize rabbits are very different animals than things like squirrels. So things like that are not safe for bunnies. The other reason why acorns are not safe is that they come from oak trees, and oak trees and like oak leaves are very poisonous to bunnies. They're one of the trees that you should not be giving to them. So don't ever give acorns to your bunny. They're not safe. There's not really much else to say about it except that they're not safe. They're poisonous, they're toxic. Number 17 is any type of seeds. So a lot of people tend to think seeds are safe for bunnies, like sunflower seeds, like I don't even know the names of seeds, but like seeds in different seed mixes, like bird seeds, like different things like that. I see it a lot in like pet store treats and things like that, but any types of seeds in any situation are not safe for bunnies. Milo? Milo! Hey, Milo, do not jump in the dishwasher. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, please avoid seeds for bunnies. They're not safe, they're not part of their diet. Do not give them. Number 18 is any other type of pet food. So do not give your rabbit cat food, dog food, hamster food, ferret food. Do not give your rabbit any other type of food that is not made for them. I don't even recommend giving rabbits rabbit food. Like, if you want to hear about my opinions on rabbit diet, please check the iCard above. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that, but many, many, many foods are not safe for bunnies, especially if they're not made for rabbits. Cat food has meat in it, dog food has meat in it, I don't know. I've seen people give them to bunnies before, or like leave it on the floor and the rabbit goes up and eats it. Yeah, please avoid that. Pick up the other animal's food if your rabbit's walking around. It's not safe. Number 19 is any processed treats from the pet store. Basically, any processed treats at a pet store are not safe for bunnies. I don't personally feed anything that's processed to my rabbits. Any processed treats or any treats that have like, they have like these treats that are like a bunch of seeds that are like stuck together in a log and you're supposed to like give it to your bunny. Like, no, those things are not safe. Not safe at all for bunnies. The only treats your rabbit should be having is 100% fruit, freeze-dried or otherwise. Make sure there's no sugars, oils, preservatives, anything like that in the dried fruit if you're giving them. Basically, any processed treat from a pet store is not safe for bunnies. Number 20 is mushrooms. Mushrooms are not plants, they are fungus, and therefore, they're not part of a rabbit's diet. A lot of mushrooms are very, very toxic and should not be given to rabbits at all. So mushrooms are not part of a rabbit's diet. Do not give them. If you eat mushrooms yourself, go for it, but they're not for your bunnies. So that's basically it for today's video. This was not an exclusive list by any means. There are so many more things that are not safe for your bunnies, but I hope this answered a couple of the common questions or the common foods that people might be wondering about. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try my best to answer a couple. Also, don't forget to check out my shop, 101rabbits.com, if you guys are looking for healthy and safe toys and treats for your bunnies. I will leave that in the iCard as well in the description and at the end of the video. But that's basically it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you very soon on a new one. Bye!